Let's begin turning within and just taking a breath, feeling that the sacredness of this gift of breath. And somehow being aware that here we are, joining our hearts and minds and breath. Perhaps even our breath is like our hands. It's a way of connecting heart to heart around this planet. So let's take 3 breaths together and then we'll begin with the invocation. Breathing in again and starting the invocation. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls, who form the embodiment of the messenger, the spirit of guidance. And let's say this invocation again, remembering all the illuminated souls, especially the beings who bring healing, who have brought healing and succor to the world. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls, who form the embodiment of the messenger, the spirit of guidance. I'm just taking a moment to call on those beings of healing. And I'm going to say the invocation in Te Reo Māori, the language of this land and the peoples of this land. And if you wish to say the invocation in the language of the country where you live, or to say the invocation and remember the First Nations, the first people of your country, and the great traditions that have of wisdom, and the wisdom keepers who have held the land where you live for thousands of years. E mihi ana ki te kotahitanga pure, ko ia hoki, te tino taumata, o te aroha, o te whakarotahi, me te atahua. Kaore he tangata ko atu ia, e whakakotahitia, ki ngā wairua tūrama katoa. Ko rato ne te whakatīnanatanga, o rato kua whetū rangitia, o tina ko arataki. In New Zealand, the word for spirit is wairua, and wai means water, and rua means two. So today's service attunement is going to be orienting to that flow of spirit that needs the vessel to flow through. So as we prepare ourselves to be the vessel for the Wairua, let's just think for a moment about our work as the healing conductor or a healing instrument. To be an instrument of spirit, of the Holy Spirit, and the inner process and orientation that we go through as we turn toward that. Even when we breathe in, we're breathing in spirit, tuning to our breath. As we become instruments of the divine healing power. And then often we turn to the divine names of Shafi Kafi and remember the flow of healing that is always present. In these divine names, Ya Shafi, the divine healing power. Ya Kafi, the flow of miracles, the flow of blessing, something that helps to keep us light, knowing that we're not carrying this burden. The life and light of the universe will flow and heal, renew and restore. It's the very essence of nature to renew itself. So let's say the divine names Shafi Kafi. And if you wish to, you can bring your hands up and then down, and just letting that sense of magnetism flow and the feeling of the support from the divine healing power that holds us. Ya Shafi. And then the flow of blessing and miracles, a lightness of being. Ya Kafi. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. And now saying Ya Shafi, letting it come up to your heart, feeling the heart. Ya Kafi, feeling that flow coming down and resting in your heart. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. Ya Shafi. Ya Kafi. Now on the breath for 3 breaths, breathing in Shafi, breathing out Kafi, focusing on your heart. And then for a moment, just feeling the magnetism of your hands, perhaps holding them just apart a little bit, being aware of their magnetism. And if there's any part of you that you feel you want to bring some healing to, really begin. If we tend to ourselves, then we can become a much fuller instrument of healing. So just let this breath and presence come to any part of you that you feel you would like to bring healing to in this moment. And then when you're ready, with your hands magnetized, you can brush down with your right hand down the left arm and out your fingertips 3 times. And then down your right hand, out your fingertips 3 times. And then continuing as if we're creating this beautiful container together, striking the air 11 times just to magnetize the atmosphere with Shafi Kafi. And again, taking a moment with your breath. And then together we can really focusing on our own being. Say the divine names Yah, He, focusing on the solar plexus and the capacity of our being to transform. Just say this 3 times together, remembering that our body and being is made of the substance of the earth. We're constantly transforming and renewing. Focusing on the solar plexus, Ya Muhi, Ya Muhi, 3 times, Ya Muhi, Ya Muhi. And then breathing in Muhi, breathing out Muhi. Remembering just as we are transformed by this life-giving energy of Muhi to renew and regenerate, humanity is renewing and regenerating, and our planet is renewing and regenerating. Each of us is being transformed. So we breathe in Muhi 3 times and just breathe out naturally. Just taking a moment to feel this flow that enlivens and enables transformation. And now bringing our awareness to the heart and to the flow of life and the sacredness of life, to the power within nature to heal. We'll say Yahai, letting the flow of life move through us in the ways that are perfect, that allow healing and that help to move us towards being a vessel of healing for the wholeness of all life. Yahai, 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 Yahai. And then whispering Yahai quite inwardly 3 times, feeling the power of nature to heal. And then as we breathe with Hai just on the breath, feeling life flooding through your being and the power of nature to heal moving through all of humanity and our planet. Power of life, the sacredness of life. And just taking a moment in the stillness to feel the flow of breath and life. And now as you're ready, turning to the crown center, and we'll say, Kudus, the Holy Spirit. Letting our body again become this instrument, and perhaps even turning to that sense of an ecstasy that is the condition of the universe. To a quality of spirit and light that in the depth of our being we know. Focusing on the crown, saying Ya Kudus 3 times. Ya Kudus, Ya Kudus. Ya Kudus. Then whispering very finely, without the just Kudus, focusing on the crown of your head, and that sense of the purity of spirit that quickens, that brooks no resistance. And as we breathe in Kudus, perhaps feeling that you're being washed by light, your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, that in some way that you're being touched by the ecstasy that is the condition of the universe. Perhaps that sense of space, of light filling the spaces in your being. then very quietly and inwardly just saying Kudus again 3 times, feeling the flow of light, pure spirit moving through your being. And then on the breath, feeling the breath, infused with this spirit. Perhaps even that sense of the divine love that flows as spirit flows. And now, as you're ready, turning to your feet and your feeling of connectedness to this body, we'll say the divine name, Mu'id, remembering the balance, a sense of continuity, our inner resilience, a sense of the inner order of things, the infinite blueprint of your being that always helps you to come to center. So we'll say Mu'id 3 times. Ya Mu'id, Ya Mu'id, Ya Mu'id. And then whispering, Mu'id. And then on the breath, feeling your feet, feeling your body with a sense of balance, inner resilience, with a sense of the blueprint of your being that brings you to center. And then as you're ready, just for a moment, feeling the whole of you and that inner sense of alignment with your inner purpose in this moment, to be an instrument of healing, feeling the alignment with the infinite source of all healing, being aware of your heart and its great capacity. And we'll turn to the healing service.